Black and white lacquer. It's reminiscent of the keys on a piano, but it runs down the whole length of the door. The two doors sit side by side. Above the doors is a window that's too high to see anything, but it does glow softly. The unobtrusive handles sit side by side where the doors meet together, and you can grab them and then pull. As you pull, the white lines cause your eyes to go cross for a moment as the black and white lines dance in front of you.
So the sun rises and streaks through the grimy, awful, barely functional windows, giving you just enough light to know that it has become the day. I imagine that G.U.M.D.R.O.P was just kind of staring into the middle distance, playing Pong in his head, while he waited for the rest of you meat sacks to sleep.
He goes into a state of, like, semi-shutdown for, like, 5 hours. I think it's 5, which is why I don't know why it's not 4 or 8 like every other damn race, but...
Look, it used to be 4, but you've been around for a while and your battery's just not what it used to be. You all have you found out the rebellion, you've learned their secret passcode, and you've gained an alliance with what appears to be their leader, Will. You've talked to Gerda about her friend that's been become the valet of the Snow Queen, and you've had a conversation about how he betrayed the rebellion. No one has seen Krampus in some time. No one knows how to get into the mansion, even. There's a lot going on. And you know that you have alternatives to exploding a factory and potentially endangering many lives. What do you do?
It's 6 hours, I checked. So when Jack starts to wake up, G.U.M.D.R.O.P immediately stands up, as he has been just waiting for 2 hours.
Just watching them sleep.
Just staring. And then as soon as Jack wakes up, he's like, hey, so I'm going to go ahead and go run around the city now. Go look for some of the symbols.
Cool. Do you want to take Halley? That was my yawn.
Oh, if you want me to, I will. I was just going to try to be kind of sneaky about it.
I'm so sneaky. She's very tired. She's just waking up. I'm so sneaky.
Did we all sleep in the same room?
You had 2 rooms. Did Cedar just get her own room?
I feel like Halley started in the other room, and then just at some point in the night, just like, hey guys.
G.U.M.D.R.O.P doesn't need a bed.
Yeah.
Halley probably sleeps on the...
It does not need to use a bed.
Yeah, so maybe we all did sleep in the same room.
After everything that the kids said, I do feel like we got back, like we went out the door and then Cedar just kind of went in the door and closed it behind her. Like not even thinking about it. Not intending to keep anyone out, just...
Oh, and then we all just went into the other room? I like that.
Yeah.
So I do like the idea that Jack just is asking G.U.M.D.R.O.P, do you want to take Halley? And G.U.M.D.R.O.P's like, I don't know. And Halley's nose just is coming into frame, like... I could go.
The glittery disco ball, like just...
I'll check on Cedar while you guys do that.
Okay, so Halley, do you want to take like an aerial view sort of approach? You can fly over?
Yeah, you want to come up with me?
No, I don't. I do not want to do that.
Okay, yeah, I got this.
I'm thinking we'll go separate, but we'll stay near each other, right? So, you keep your eye on me, I'll keep my eye on you, but we'll be looking around.
Like right above you, or like how do you...
Close, just close,
Just
don't
close.
go to these.
Okay.
Yeah.
As they're going to go out to do that, Jack, you are going in to check on Cedar?
Yeah, I'll go to the door and gently knock.
Come in.
Walk in. Hey.
And Cedar's just sitting there at the end of the bed, making notes.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Is everybody ready?
Yeah, they went ahead and went out to look for those symbols.
Good. That's good. So what are we gonna do with the day if we're waiting for tomorrow?
Well, I figured we could try to get a message to the North Pole. I don't know if you have any tricks for that or anything. But I thought we could also, maybe we could recruit some other kids.
I don't know, man. Like, recruiting kids to fight?
Or, yeah, it is.
I feel like we should be focusing on, like, getting them out of here.
We can do that then. Or at least away from the factory, away from danger.
Yeah, all right.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. And she's gonna stand up and start walking toward the door.
I put a hand on her shoulder. You know, you can talk to me. You can tell me what's wrong.
Nah, man, nothing's wrong. It's just I wanna get these kids out of here. I wanna make everybody happy.
Yeah, well, I do too. Things seem overwhelming right now, but when we were doing this last time, it seemed the same way. There were these Grimshlins everywhere. We couldn't get to the mountain that we were supposed to go to. Everything seemed lost, but we had each other and we made it.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, let's go. Let's at least talk to some kids, see what they have to say. Do you have a way to reach your grandma?
Not really.
Me either. All right, well, let's see what we can find. Maybe there'll be a way.
Halley, you are going to be prancing up above, looking down on the city. I want to know, A, what you're looking for, and B, how are you handling the smog?
First thing is she's going to try to dim everything as much as possible, trying not to get reflection of the smog. When you turn your high beams on when it's super smoggy and it just makes everything way freaking worse. Mm-hmm. So she's trying to dim down all the nonsense she has going on as much as she can to...
She's got an N95 on her nose.
Right? She just straps that shit on, double crosses the freaking ear wraps. But yeah, so she's trying to keep all of that as dimmed as possible. And I think what she's going to have to do is stay kind of low to the city. So while she's still seeing rooftops, knowing full well that there could be a hazard kind of in front of her. So flying a little slower than usual, trying to be careful about staying kind of just 10, 15 feet above rooftop level. So she can kind of keep herself oriented with where she is in the city. So that's that part. And then what she's looking for, short of being able to see any symbols because they're written aliens have come to the corn maze and imprinted it onto the entirety of the city. Short of anything like that, I think what she's looking for are places that look similar, just through any sort of windows and or trappings that are outside to where G.U.M.D.R.O.P found their items, because that to her mind is it says there's a table with magic items. So I'm looking for a place that has items that look spectacular, or maybe it's because the shop looks a little bit nicer because they have something that's more valuable in there and they're able to keep something on their shelves that is more valuable because they don't have to move something as quickly as a shop that is selling something that knickknacks and things like that.
Right before we split up, I do want to point out that G.U.M.D.R.O.P would have cast Pass Without Trace on Halley.
Perfect.
I don't know why she's super sneaky.
She's so sneaky.
She is now. You're
going to be prancing around and you're going to be looking, and there's something odd about the shape of the city as a whole as you're prancing around and looking. There's something... It doesn't seem that there's a pattern, but it seems there's an intentionality to it that you're not high enough above that you can see the whole city, but you're far enough up that something seems distinct. You're prancing around, you're looking at the different areas and the shops that would have stuff, and you're not seeing anything that's indicating those symbols. As you're prancing about, though, the city has an intentionality to it that you're not expecting. As you get a little higher, and a little higher, and a little higher to see it, you can see that the whole city is in the shape of one of the symbols. The whole city is laid out to be in the shape of 12 drummers in a circle. The very, very center of it being the factory. Outside of this slightly alarming revelation, you don't find any of the symbols from an aerial view.
Hi. Can she go?
As long as you've got oxygen.
Okay, so I think she's going to take note of... She's not finding anything down low. When she gets over the city itself, she's noticing these shapes of like the 12 drummers in a circle and recognizing that. I think she's going to try to go up and see if there is an above the fog that exists.
So you're trying to see, like, if you can break the smog ring that's around it?
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be really high. You're going to continue going up and up and up, the air getting thinner and thinner. As you prance in the sky, you can feel your hooves sort of losing some of the, like, foundation that you prance upon when you're flying. There's a weakness to it, like you're walking on unstable sand. You get to a point that you have broken through the smog, and as you look down, the city is gone. There is nothing there. It looks as if you are traveling above the same land that stretches all around this area.
Okay. Once she sees that, I think she'll go back down. Like, try to follow that course back down that she came from.
Mm-hmm. As that is going on, G.U.M.D.R.O.P, you are sneaking around?
What is happening is I'm either going from shadow to shadow, or where there's no shadow, I am sprinting, like, as fast as I possibly can move. Between windows, open doors, anywhere that I can see into places, or, like, I'm looking on walls. I'm just looking everywhere. I'm trying to find these symbols.
So you're just looking around the city as a collective whole?
Yeah, basically.
Roll investigation for me.
17, because I rolled an 18.
So as you're running around, you're getting closer and closer to the center of the city. It's good that you're dodging and cutting around like you are, because you're seeing some of those machines that you were warned about. Some of them are automatons in the shape of tin soldiers. Others are... They look like they were at one point a kind of mechanical bird toy, something that you wind up and let fly. But these are sinister and seem to be equipped with something dangerous. They have these, like, spotlight eyes that are trained all around, trying to find evidence of crime, evidence of rebellion, just keeping an eye on things. You're not sure, but there's a sinister intent to it. As you get closer and closer to the center of the city, though you are not particularly bothered by this, you can tell that it is getting colder and colder. The ground more and more covered with ice. The automatons are starting to form this thick ice armor. As you're getting closer and closer, you find what you think must have once been a park, which seems odd given the general everything about the city. At the center of the park is a tall, dead tree. Must have been some form of evergreen. As you get closer to it, you can see carved into the trunk is the symbol of 3 round birds. Maybe chickens?
Do they have, like, berets? Are they smoking cigarettes?
They are probably 3 French hens, but they do not have any stereotypical they don't have, like, Eiffel Tower tattoos, or, like, they're not wearing, like, black and white striped shirts.
Turtlenecks. One's got a monkey in a music box. Yeah. So that's the only symbol I've found is on this tree.
That is the only one that you're able to immediately find looking around the city.
I mean, I make a mental checklist. We've gotten 5 of them. If I count the one that was
6
on a table that we haven't actually seen. Yeah, but I haven't seen the one in the city.
Okay, then yes.
The one that is the city.
Mentally, you have 5.
I'm going to continue to look. I mean, I'm going to spend the day doing this unless... I'll check back in. I mean, I imagine... How wide is the city? Like,
pretty wide.
12 drummer boys deep.
It is 12 drummer boys deep.
How detailed are the drummer boys, though? I mean, are there streets for their individual laugh lines, crow's feet? Like,
what I want you to imagine is these symbols are very crop circle-esque. So they're going to be very simple. A little bit bathroom sign boy kind of thing.
basically, whenever I get back close, I'll check back in with Jack, and as long as there's nothing major going on. But I guess when I get there, I will say, yeah, there's like a park near the center of the town. It's got like a big old dead tree in it, and there's 3 French hens on it, and I show him the minor illusion of that.
Good work, Gum-Drop.
Yeah, no problem. And then I'm out.
As soon as Gum-Drop begins sprinting away, Halley, you're going to kind of come skidding a little bit to a halt onto the ground. You do like kind of that like Bambi 180 on the ice before you like get your footing back and run back up to the group.
Absolutely. Yeah, so she'll come skidding out and, you know, one of the sideways digs into the ground and back over to the group and be like, hey, so if you go really, really high above the city and you can see like the whole city, and the whole city, it's the drummer guys, there's like a bunch of them, like as many as like, I don't know, like almost like if you get like a bunch of cookies in a pack, like, you know, the ones the standard cookie size, but like one less than that usually. So then they're like, there's this drummer symbol, and it's like the other ones that we saw, but the city.
Whoa. You had to go up pretty high.
Oh yeah, I went higher than that. Okay, yeah, great point. So also, if you go higher than that, the city disappears.
What?
Wait.
Like it just looks like the rest of the world.
Alpha Alex, does that happen in the North Pole?
It does not.
Okay.
Generally, the North Pole is protected from mundane eyes who do not wish to look upon Christmas wonder, or who would use Christmas wonder for selfish gain. If you fly over the North Pole, your biggest dangers are the storms and wind and ice of the North Pole. That's usually, those 2 1-2 punches are usually enough to protect the North Pole so that there doesn't need to be any kind of glamour. But if Santa's flying over it in his sleigh, he can see it.
So they're hot in this place. I don't even know if we even got word to the North Pole if they would be able to find us then.
Well, we found it, right? Like as long as you know
The direction.
the smog starts.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless they wanted us to find it. Who's they? She looks at Jack expectantly, both asking the question and then coming up with the next question, looking at Jack as if he was the one that brought this to her attention, even though it was entirely her own line of questioning.
Krampus? The Ice Queen?
Could be.
Good work.
Gum-Drop, you are sprinting around. You are, no one can catch you. You are so fast.
I'm just upset that I've missed all this conversation because I took off immediately after. Yeah, so I'm just looking again. I'm continuing to try to find these symbols. I'm trying to piece together what they have in common. That's really my biggest thing. 2 of them weren't even here.
Not that they're all the 12 days of Christmas. You figured that part out.
Yeah, but like one of them, the partridge in a pear tree, was by that lake, and then the 5 golden rings were in another area, and now we're here, and I found 2 turtle doves on a random like shelf, and apparently there were either 10 maids of milking or 11 ladies dancing.
9.
We're not sure.
9 ladies dancing.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to, I guess while I'm running and looking, I'm trying to figure out, like, are they, it's like targets, but they've already gotten some of these things, so, like, why do they have to keep doing it? Why would they have a target in the middle of the woods after they've already got the thing? I don't get it. And I'm just kind of thinking to myself as I'm running and trying to figure shit out.
As you are running and looking around, ducking in between the shadows in an effort to avoid the automatons, you can hear a ways down, deeper into the city, the sound of crystal trumpets playing to announce perhaps a royal entrance, perhaps a celebration. There is a huge crowd of children that are all there, kind of pushing one another up out of the way. You can see being pulled by 2 horses made of beautiful clear ice is a blue and white sleigh. Set in the sleigh are 2 figures. One is this woman who appears to be made of snow and ice, wearing a dress of fur and silk. Next to her sits a young boy with glasses and black hair. He looks vacant, not dead, but there is something about his eyes and his expression that is wrong. It's slack, it's empty, almost as if he's not there. They appear to be traveling through the city. Everyone is pushing and shoving to get a glance of them. You can feel, or feel's not the correct word, you are made of cookie, but you can see the breath of all of the nearby children is coming in like poofy white clouds. You can see the ice and snow sort of increasing alongside the sleigh. Everywhere she goes, it gets colder and it gets icier. You know you have seen the Snow Queen. And for the first moment in your very short life, you feel chilled.